Guys, what is up? After we record this video, I'm gonna do, this is a theory that I've had, and a lot of people have had about Titans in Season 2. Here's my little kitty. But, so I actually thought of this, I believe, yesterday when I was at work, because I didn't see, any things before that about the theory. Because, like, I was just thinking, like, in the first episode we saw Deathstroke in Season 2, and he was acting like he was maybe in pain or gripping the bottom of the sink pretty hard. And I was like, oh, maybe he just got, when he got in a fight with the Titans, he must got hurt or something. But then when I saw episode 8, I didn't notice it right away, but I knew there was a possibility Jericho could have jumped into Slade's consciousness before he died. But and at first I thought they zoomed in the area where Jericho got stabbed, so I thought maybe something to do with that, where he feels the pain, which I don't really think that's how it would really work, because it'd be Slade's body. But then I saw episode 9, Atonement, which I really didn't like that episode at first, but now I think it's not a terrible episode. It's more just like setting things up, or like a filler episode. But and when you see Dick go to apologize to Adeline, and in their house, and she says, if you want something else or something, if you want a different opinion, something along the lines of that, then they are in there or something. And I know she said they, and then you notice there's only Slade in the room, right? And then another thing is that I was asking, why would Adeline let Slade be in their house after he accidentally killed Jericho? And then you could see Deathstroke was talking about how his plan worked, which it did, and then Dick mentions Jericho is, you don't deserve him, and he's like, excuse me? And she's like, you don't deserve him, he was better than all of us. And then he started struggling, and I don't know if you notice, I can't do this because I have my one hand's holding the tablet, but he does this and puts his palm, this over his palm, and that means help, or help me in sign language. I'm like, I didn't notice it at first, but then watching it again, I noticed it. But it makes sense that Dick wouldn't know that. Well, it happened very briefly when he was turning around, but it makes sense that Dick wouldn't know sign language because Dawn was the only one who really understood it from the previous episode. But and then he started struggling, and he's like, no, wait. And then Adeline starts to try to rush him out. He says, no, oh, he's tired, time to go, and wants to get him out. And then Slade regains control and says, yells Grace, and he says, if you put the Titans back together, even for a week, and I'll kill every last one of them. And then he left, and then we get a weird scene. I believe it was the next scene, or no, it wasn't. It was a couple scenes later, or at the end of the episode. We see Dick go to an airport and ask go to a place, most remote place you can go. To the most remote place you can go, and she said, and Greenland was the one he was going to. And then he dropped the bags and attacked police officers, which there's a lot of people who have a theory that it was Jericho, but I think there's three potential reasons that could have happened. One being either Dick felt so guilty he'd feel like he would need to be locked up, and another one too is because he knows what Slade is because of Slade's threat, and he knows what Slade's Deathstroke's capable of, because he killed like a whole group of adult Amazonian warriors and wrecked Wonder Girl pretty bad, and then almost killed Dick himself too, and which, like, that would make sense because that would keep him from not rebuilding the Titans back together to keep them safe. And then another reason is that I personally don't believe it'll be, but it could, is because Jericho could have jumped from Slade into Dick and got Dick arrested or not wanting him to leave. But I don't get why Jericho would do that, because Jericho, I don't think he'll have any bad opinions towards the Titans, because why would he want to kill the Titans if he sacrificed himself for Dick? Which a lot of people are asking, how is Jericho in control all of the time or sometime? Well, I think that it's probably pretty probable that, well, first let's see, people also thought that maybe it was something to do with him not knowing the password in the first episode, which I don't think that's truly, I don't really believe that, because I think it'd be more probable because he's been gone for 5 years. It would make sense he would forget his password at first and then remember it. But if it was Jericho, I don't think it would take just one try to get in and seem so confident about it, you know? But yeah, and there's another thing too. Hold on, what was I gonna say? Well, actually, I think Deathstroke has control most of the time, because he's doesn't seem like an easy person to control, if you know what I mean. But because most of the stuff Deathstroke's done in this season, I can't see Jericho doing, because Jericho's pretty much a kid, and Deathstroke's a very he's very violent, and I can't see Jericho coming up with that plan he had with Dr. Light, because Jericho's not like that. Deathstroke's very strategic. He's like almost like an evil version of Batman. And yeah, and he's just really smart. I don't think he would be able to come up with that. But I wanted to discuss something else. Deathstroke, he's my favorite villain of all time, and I like him better than the actual Teen Titans. But speaking of that, there is a couple reports that there could potentially be a Titans Deathstroke spinoff, possibly coming to the CW, I believe. But I heard one from We Got This Covered, but if it was We Got This Covered, I really wouldn't. I'd be skeptical. But there was other reports that I believe were around the same time or earlier saying that. You type in on Google, there's a big page about it, like that'll you can read, and it's right up there. But I really do hope that that's true. That they're gonna make a show about that, because he's probably my. I really like this version. He's like he's like the best we've had so far, I think. Like, especially the voice too. I mean, I just love his voice, and that he sounds like the Ron Perlman original Teen Titans ones, which is really good, or maybe even better. But I would really, really want to see that series too. But if it's on the CW, it would probably be TV-14, and I'm like, I would rather it be like the same rating as Titans TVMA, because he's not a TV-14 or PG-13 highball. Because the character isn't suited for a PG-13 show-like thing, or because he's just so violent, man. But yeah, I really, really like to see that show if it gets made, which I'm hoping it does. And that would also mean that he will survive the last encounter with the Titans. Which, I mean, that's been one of my questions too, because I'd be really kind of upset if they kill him off in the last episode, because he's such a big villain towards them, and a lot of people see him as a Batman villain, which I don't think he'll ever have as big of a connection to Batman as the Titans, because the original comics they killed his son Grant and then Deathstroke took up the contract from Grant to kill the Titans, and I just would, because I would want him to be like a reoccurring villain and show up often, like in later seasons, much like the Arrow version. I think that would be really cool. It'd be a big waste to just kill him off and not bring him back, you know. Because I know Trigon. I don't think Trigon's dead. He just got sent back to his dimension or whatever. But yeah, I hope this all and it'd be actually really cool to see where they go from Jericho potentially being enslaved. So that'd be really interesting to see. And alright, that'll be it. Leave a comment if you know, like, if you have any feedback on, like, the theories or anything you guys might think.